Hello everyone. Today we will talk about the software development problems. Our team members are Mr. Thiawan, Mr. Thanabut, and my name is Patharashat. We divided it into 6 parts that are introduction, problem statement, research method, solution, interpretation, and conclusion. Next, introduction. Nowadays, IT students are expected to engage in software development projects so that they can learn to develop practical and effective software, learn to solve problems, and learn how to work with given requirements. However, it can be difficult to develop software productively without using any framework or guideline. Software development methods and models are recommended as a tool that should be applied in software development plans in order to avoid and decrease bugs, faults, errors, and failures in software. There are 3 recommended software development models that IT students should consider to apply during the process of software development. The recommended models are prototype model, traditional waterfall model, and agile model. The main purpose of this report is to acknowledge IT students about how to create software development projects successfully, effectively, and professionally. If IT students adapt any of the recommended models in their software development, they should be able to produce effective software products in a shorter amount of time. Next, about the problem statement, the first one is software faults and failures in real life can have more serious effects than the one that IT students find during their study. For example, the business that keep their things up and running using software system, a system failure or fault can interrupt the business process and cause financial loss. The second is software developers have to deal with a lot of challenging tasks. For example, they have to deal with conflict between team members, unorganized development plans, and requirements that can be changed during the development. Next, about the research method. In order to justify the objective of this research, we went through the phase of information gathering, which consists of 3 steps. The first step is identifying the models that can be used as a software development problem solution. We choose the software development models based on their performance and the advantage that they offer to developers. There were 3 models that we selected as a solution because they are the most suitable one for IT students to use and are also well known in IT industry. The second step is finding research that hold information of each model to find supporting information. We use online resources for the research. The online sources are from www.researchgate.net and www.softwarequality.techtarget.com, which contain research and information about software engineering and computer science. The third step is discussing among the team about the information that we gathered. After we identify the solution and search for the detail to support the points, the team discuss about it and interpret information together. Next, about the solution.
About the solution, which include prototype model, waterfall model, and agile model. First, prototype model. Prototype model is that instead of freezing the requirement before a design or coding, can proceed to understand the requirement. This prototype is developed based on the currently known requirement. The interaction with prototype can enable the client to better understand the requirement of design system. Prototyping is an attractive idea for complicated advanced system for which there is no manual process or exit system to help determining the requirement. For the advantage of prototype, the software gets evaluated by the user continue after each upgrade. That is very good aspect of it because it allows the user to provide feedback and fill the gap of the incomplete requirement, which includes about help developer match their understanding with the user idea and also make the process go faster as the developer focus on representing the overall outline of the software that will be used by the end user. For the software continually get to be evaluated by the user after each update. Next.
The second of three types of effective software development models that IT students should consider applying in the process of software and development is traditional waterfall model. The waterfall model is a popular version of the system development life cycle model for software engineering, often considered the classic approach to the system development life cycle. The waterfall model describes a development method that is linear and sequential. Waterfall development has distinct goals for each phase of development. Imagine a waterfall on the cliff of a steep mountain. Once the water has flowed over the edge of the cliff and has begun its journey down the side of the mountain, it cannot turn back. It is the same with waterfall development. Once a phase of development is complete, the development proceeds to the next phase and there is no turning back. Next, advantage of waterfall. Waterfall model is suitable for simple projects with stable requirements that are clearly defined. IT students should consider using this model with most of their university projects because it is suitable for small projects. Next.
Agile model. Agile modeling is for effective modeling and documentation of software based on system because it is a practice-based methodology. It is a practice that applies continuous interaction of software development and testing. It focuses on breaking the project into individual parts, which allow all stakeholders to work on each part separately and also each release is thoroughly tested to ensure software quality are maintained properly. About the advantage of Agile, which includes face-to-face conversation, is the best form of communication. Another one, cross-daily cooperation between business people and developers that require minimum requirement. Next.
Interpretation of result. The best way to avoid software development problems for IT students is to consider using prototype model, traditional waterfall model, and agile model. They should look into the model characteristics and how adaptable the solution is to see the of failure and estimate the cost of each solution before implementation. To decide which project is suitable for the project, the first thing that should be considered is the adaptation of each model. In prototype model and agile model, they are more flexible and more suitable for software projects with changeable requirements. Secondly, the risk of failure of each model should also be considered. Prototype model and agile model are interactive models which provide more testing and provide less chance of failures. It allows developers to interact more with the user. The third thing that should be considered is the cost of using each model. Prototype model and agile model typically cost more during the implementation because they are interactive approaches. On the other hand, traditional waterfall model costs less in the implementation process because there is supposed to be no change in requirement and nothing is interactive. Next, about the conclusion.
About the conclusion, prototype model is to identify the requirement of a software project by building a mock-up version to get feedback from the user. In each small project that are given the unclear requirement. On the other hand, traditional waterfall model is more for small projects that can be handled sequentially because they come with clear deadline and documentation. For the agile model, is more for medium-sized and large-sized projects with changeable plan and unstable requirements because many times users are unsure the outcome they expect from the software. This model helps users to review and give a feedback for each step of the project to allow the developer to understand what the user wants and deliver certifiable version of the software for the user. Thank you for attention.